Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Barry Bonds, and this is another A&R Short Report. Now, look, I just wanted to come to you guys and chat with you because I did put up a video not too long ago talking about the reason that the BET Hip Hop Awards was recently canned. Now, I'm going to say this, and I hope that you guys feel where I'm coming from with this because it's just pretty much from the mind of Minolta, and I'm just going to just drop it to you straight off the dome. I think that hip hop, as well as the music industry, has become very stale because we have so many DEI hires that are in there taking up space and other people's jobs. Now, why do you say that, Barry? This is why I say that because we've had people who have come into positions who have, let's just say, inherited positions just because they have a strong network and they have somebody that's already in there in the top spot, or it's just a friend group. Because when you're in the music industry, sometimes you roll in cliques or syndicates or whatever, where you have friend groups that move on to certain labels, and then they'll say, "Hey, come over here. I'll etch out a space for you, a job for you," because in these type of positions, the head guy or the head girl wants to have their own people in line because they'll know, like, okay, well, yeah, I feel safe and I can trust these people that they're going to work with me or whatever. Fine, whatever. But you know what? The world doesn't work like that all the time, especially in this world of hip hop or R&B or just the music industry in general. Right now, we have so many people that are in these critical positions that are taking up space because they don't have the natural aptitude, the natural talent. All they have is degrees. That's it. So when you have just a degree and that's it, that pretty much says, okay, well, we don't care about the talent. We just care that you got a 4-year degree from a school, accredited school, just to say that, hey, I can finish something, whatever. Now, coming up when this industry started, music industry, hip hop, R&B, the culture, so to speak, a lot of people didn't even have high school diplomas, and they made this this industry very, very attractive to the point where now it's a billion, almost $1 trillion industry, and every single major company, Fortune 5, is using it to sell to us. Okay, so that basically speaks for the talent that those who mostly didn't even have high school diplomas can add to this industry, and who have added to the history of hip hop, rap, R&B music, and the genre that has become just globalized all across the world. So we're seeing that culture is pretty stale right now. Culture is stale, and the only way that we can get it back is if we start putting those who have the natural talent, those who were meant to do it. Sometimes we find those on the social medias pages, setting new trends and everything. But we need to take it back to the genesis. We need to take it back to those who have the ear to the streets, those who are amongst the culture, those who are in the streets and are able to see what's coming up next, rather than those who can just, break down a balance sheet or a P&L or, those type of things. We need to get back to having those dope individuals who have the talent, who have the imagination, to create these great award shows for us. Like, take for instance Suzanne DePass. Suzanne DePass was a executive over at Motown, and Berry Gordy hired her. She was in her early 20s, working with the Jackson 5, and she did amazing things. Amazing. And then it spurred on to Motown 25, which spurred on to her coming to BET and taking on and doing, direction there, and executive director for, many shows there. She just had that vision. She had that vision. And, it definitely made my childhood very special. And I'm pretty sure, those of you who are around my age who were able to see those shows back in the day probably made yours, special as well. But even those who created the Source Awards, back in the early 2000s, well, late 99s, late 90s, early 2000s. These are people who came from the streets, who had the ear to the ground, those who were just around the culture, who were setting new trends, who knew what the people wanted to see. That's what we need. We don't need your homeboy or your cousin or your friend group, or whatever, taking up space when we really need those talented people to come to the front. Now, it's often been said that those who lack the talent are always going to be the ones in front because they're the loudest. They're the ones who go after it with most veracity. And most times that's right. Most times that is a true statement, because the ones that are dope, they'll just sit back on their dopeness and they'll just fall back because they just know that they're dope and they feel like they don't have to prove it to anyone, and they just, whatever. But now I need all of you who are dope, who have great ideas, whose ideas aren't just cookie cutter, to come to the front. It's your time. You need to be seen and heard. We need to make this culture, get this culture back to where it used to be cutting edge, to be dope, to be the whole world sitting on the edge of its seat, waiting to see what we do next. Because right now, it's very stale. It's very, how should I say it, culturally unacceptable, as well as predictable. Let's say that, predictable. So I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of my mind here and what I felt about this situation, because this has been a topic that's come up several times. Why is the industry, why is the culture so stale right now? And it's because we have people who are making and dictating, these decisions in there who shouldn't be in there, who don't have ear to the ground, who don't know what's going on. Only thing they know or just how to be good company men or women. And that's it. So that's it for here. I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of a gem. I'm interested to hear what you guys got to say. So if you can put it in the comments, let's start this conversation. Let's get it going. Let's talk more about this, and let's keep it respectful. Other than that, please continue to like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to build this page up. It's the A&R Report. We starting to move now. So if you still want to be featured, if you want, to send in some of your work so that we can throw it up, hey, send it in. All right. That's it. That's it from here. My motto, positive minds move forward. I get with y'all in a minute. Peace.
Come and go with us, and perhaps you'll see a side of life that you've never seen. We made it.